If you still struggle to think 100% in English, then this is for you. If you're new here, hi, I'm Gabby, your American English fluency coach here at Go Natural English. And today we're talking about something that can completely change your English fluency. Stop translating in your head and do this instead. Maybe this happens to you. Someone asks you a simple question in English, and inside your brain, there's a whole emergency meeting happening. You hear English, you translate it into your native language, and you think of your answer in your native language, you translate it back into English. Then you check the grammar, then maybe you wonder, you doubt yourself. Is this natural? Is this how people really speak in real life? Or is this just what I learned in my textbook? But by the time you're ready to answer, the conversation has already moved on. You lost your chance. If that sounds familiar, you are not the problem. You're not bad at English. You just were taught the wrong way. You're using a process that you learned in your classroom from your textbook that is too slow for real conversation. So today, I'm going to show you how to start thinking more directly in English. Not by forcing your brain, not by memorizing more grammar rules, but by building an English environment around your real life. And I think this is actually really fun. Because here's the truth. You don't start thinking in English by translating faster. It's always going to slow you down. You start thinking in English by living more of your life through English. So here, the obstacle is the way. The obstacle, English fluency, is the way. Living your life through English is the way to fluency. So now I'm going to share concrete, specific examples that you can use to start thinking in English today. This is going to improve your fluency so much, and I'm so excited. Just before we jump in, I want to let you know about a special project that I've started, and I want to invite you to join and go deeper in your fluency with me. If you enjoy these free lessons and you want daily private English lessons, join as a YouTube channel member or a private Fluency podcast member, whichever you prefer. Some people prefer watching on YouTube. Some people prefer listening to the podcast. The link is in the description. You'll get short, about 15 to 20 minute daily private English lessons designed to help you immerse yourself in real English. They're conversational lessons with real learning in everyone. We do talk about vocabulary to expand the way you express yourself and real life English. This will help you to start thinking in English more naturally. And there's no big commitment. You can just try it for a month and see for yourself. Also, we've kept this super affordable because we want to help as many people as possible around the world to improve their fluency and confidence. So this is honestly one of the best ways to make English part of your everyday life. It's easy, it's simple. All you have to do is watch along with the videos that I make for you and repeat after me. Just copy and repeat after me. Even if you're busy, you can do this. Okay, so now let's talk about why translation keeps you stuck. This is important to understand the problem. Most people learning English were trained to treat English like a school subject. You study vocabulary, you memorize grammar rules, you translate sentences, you fill in the blanks, you answer textbook questions. Can you relate to any of this? Did you have to do this? All of that can help you build a solid foundation, but real English conversations do not sound like a textbook. And when you go from the classroom and your textbook to real life English, you can feel overwhelmed, stressed out, and honestly feel kind of bad about your English because there is a big gap. But again, it's not your fault. See, native speakers do not usually speak like your teacher. And that's why I'm here to help you understand how to bridge that gap between your old English class and real life English now. So your teacher might say, for example, "What are you doing?" But in real life, especially in casual American English, people often say, "What are you doing?" Or, "What are you up to?" Or even, "What you doing?" These are all ways to ask the same thing that you might not have heard or learned, but this is important to start getting familiar with how natives really speak. If your brain is waiting to hear that perfect, clear, textbook English, you may not recognize real life English when you hear it. That's one reason you feel like, I know English, but I still can't understand people. You may know the clean version of English. The real life gives you the connected version. So let's compare. Textbook English, what are you going to do? Real spoken English, what are you going to do? Textbook English, I do not know. Real spoken English, I don't know. Textbook English, did you eat yet? Real spoken English, jeet yet? That one sounds funny, but yes, some people really do say it that way. Textbook English, do you want to? Real spoken English, you wanna? Textbook English, I am going to. Real spoken English, I'm gonna. Now, I'm not saying you always need to speak this casually, but you absolutely need to understand it. Because if you only study perfect textbook English, real English will sound blurry, messy, confusing, and too fast. But it's not random, it has patterns. Native speakers connect words. We reduce sounds. We drop sounds altogether. We blend words together. So part of thinking in English is training your brain to recognize English as it is actually spoken, as you hear it, not just as it is written and as you know how to read it. So here's the big mindset shift for today. Fluency is not translation. Fluency is direct connection. You want to connect an English word with the real meaning, an English phrase with the feeling, an English sound with the situation, an English expression with real life use, not English to your native language, to the meaning, to your native language, to English. So that middle step is what slows you down. So instead of asking, how do I translate this? Or how do I say this in my native language? Ask, when would I use this in English? For example, don't just translate, I'm running late. That could mean something very different if we translate this directly, literally. Connect it to the situation. You're leaving the house, you're stuck in traffic, you're texting someone, you're 5 minutes behind schedule. That's when you say, I'm running late. Now, the phrase is not just a translation, it's connected to your real life. That's how you start thinking in English, connecting real life phrases with real life situations. So now maybe you've heard people say, just immerse yourself in English. And maybe you think, okay, Gabby, but I don't live in the United States. I don't have English speaking friends. I don't work in English all day. It's okay. I get it. Immersion does not have to mean moving to another country. Immersion means creating more English contact points throughout your day. And I think this can be fun. I want you to remember this phrase, start slow and grow. You don't need to change your whole life overnight. Start with small, repeatable habits. 5 minutes of journaling, listening to a song in English, one Netflix scene with English subtitles, one voice note to yourself, one short conversation, one private podcast lesson a day. The goal is not to study English for 3 hours once a week. The goal is to touch English every day in ways that feel meaningful to you. Now, let me teach you 5 useful phrases for this topic, because even as we talk about learning to think in English, we can improve your vocabulary. So, number 1, of course, think in English. This means you connect ideas directly in English without translating every word. For example, and please repeat after me, I'm trying to think in English instead of translating everything. Next, real life English. This means English as people actually use it in normal conversations. For example, I want to understand real life English, not just textbook English. Next, word for word translation. This means translating each individual word instead of understanding the whole idea. For example, word for word translation makes me speak too slowly. Next, daily immersion. This means surrounding yourself with English a little bit every day. For example, daily immersion helps my brain get used to English. Next, natural expression. This is a phrase that sounds normal to native speakers. For example, instead of translating from my language, I want to learn natural expressions. Now, repeat after me. I want to think in English. I want to understand real life English. I'm moving away from word for word translation. Daily immersion helps me improve. I'm learning natural expressions. Beautiful! Great job. Now, let's learn 5 phrasal verbs that connect beautifully to this topic. First, to pick up. Now, this has many meanings, but today we're talking about the meaning to learn something naturally, often without formal study. For example, you can pick up natural English by listening every day. This is what children do. They pick up language from hearing it again and again. Next, get used to become comfortable with something over time. For example, at first, fast English sounds difficult, but you'll get used to it. This is huge. You don't need to understand everything in English immediately. You need repeated exposure. Next, tune in means to listen or pay attention, especially to audio or video. For example, tune in to English podcasts while you're cooking or walking. Next, speak up, to say something more clearly, confidently, or publicly. For example, creating a private podcast can help you speak up in English. To keep up with means to follow or understand something that's moving quickly. For example, at first it's hard to keep up with native speakers, but it gets easier. Now repeat after me. I can pick up English naturally. I'm getting used to fast English. I tune in every day. I'm learning to speak up. I can keep up with real conversations. Excellent! I love this for you. Now, here's one of the most important points in this whole episode. Do not just study English. Do things through English. There's a big, big difference. Studying English is when English is the subject. You're solely focused on English. Doing life through English is when English becomes the tool. For example, instead of only writing practice sentences in a notebook, write a real letter in English. You could write to a politician about an issue you care about. You could write to an organization you support. You could write letters to seniors in assisted living who may not have family visiting them. You could write encouraging notes to people who are lonely. You could write to inmates through a legitimate, safe letter writing program if that's something meaningful to you. I'm just sharing these examples as ways that you can use English in real life as a tool, and it will help you develop your fluency and give you meaning and motivation while you do it. Now, English is not just an exercise. English is helping you express your values. That is powerful because your brain remembers language better when there's emotion, purpose, and real meaning attached to it. Now, let's talk about speaking. A lot of learners say, I don't have anyone to practice with. And I understand that is a real challenge, but I also want to gently challenge you. You can create reasons to speak. You could start a YouTube channel in English. It doesn't have to be public at first. You can make all the videos private. You could start a podcast in English and not publish it until you're ready. You could record voice notes to yourself. You could explain your day in English. You could review a book, a movie, a recipe, a news story, or personal experience. The point is, at this level, Give yourself a reason to keep speaking. Don't wait for an assignment from your teacher. In fact, I want to empower you through these lessons to give you ideas to use English in the real world, even if you don't feel quite ready yet. This might be the push or the sign that you've been waiting for. If you're only waiting for the perfect conversation partner, you may wait forever. But if you start speaking privately or publicly, you train your mouth, your brain, and your confidence. And later, when a real conversation happens, your English is already warmed up. So let's build what I call your immersion ladder. You don't need to jump from textbook exercises to full speed native conversations overnight. That's too much pressure. Instead, climb the ladder step by step. Step 1, journaling. Write 3 sentences a day in English, in a notebook, on your phone, in a Word doc. For example, today, I feel a little tired, but I'm proud of myself because I practiced English. Step 2, music. Listen to songs that you like in English. Look up the lyrics. Sing along. I did this a lot when I was learning Spanish. It was a huge help. Music helps with rhythm, pronunciation, connected speech, and emotional memory. Step 3, Netflix or YouTube. Watch short clips in English. Don't try to understand the whole movie perfectly, but watch one scene. Repeat one line. Notice how people really speak. And step 4, private speaking practice. Record yourself answering simple questions. For example, what did I do today? What am I looking forward to? What is one thing I care about? And step 5, real conversations. Talk with people online, in a class, in a community, while traveling or in your workplace. Step 6, travel or routine change. If possible, take a trip where you can practice English outside your normal routine in your native language. It doesn't have to be a huge, expensive trip. Even a short trip, a conference, a retreat, a meetup, or a local intentional event that you're interested in can help. Or if you're traveling internationally, go to a local event there. The key is to put yourself in a situation where English becomes useful, not just academic. It's not just about the grades. It's about how you learn and use English in real life. So this is exactly why I created private daily lessons. If you want help making English part of your daily life, join as a YouTube channel member or a private Fluency podcast member. The link is in the description. You'll get daily private English lessons, about 15 minutes a day, so you can immerse yourself in real English consistently. This is for you if you want to think in English, understand natural American English, and build fluency without needing to sit down with a textbook for hours. No commitment. Try it for a month and see for yourself. Okay, now let's talk about what this sounds like in real life. Let's compare the translating version and the natural version. So imagine someone asks, "What are you up to this weekend?" A translating answer might sound like, "I will make the cleaning of my house and maybe I will see a movie." It's understandable, but it sounds translated, very strange. A more natural answer, "I'm probably going to clean up around the house and maybe watch a movie." Notice, clean up, around the house, probably going to watch a movie. Very normal, very natural. Another example, "What are you doing later?" Textbook brain hears, "What are you doing later?" Natural answer, "Not much. I might grab a dinner with a friend," or "I'm just taking it easy tonight," or "I'm catching up on some work." Now let's practice those. Not much. I might grab dinner with a friend. I'm just taking it easy tonight. I'm catching up on some work. These are the kind of phrases you want to absorb as whole chunks. Don't translate every word. Let the whole phrase speak for you. Learn the whole phrase connected to the situation. Now, here's a big fluency tip. Think in chunks, not individual words. A chunk is a group of words that native speakers commonly use together. For example, I'm running late, I'll get back to you. That makes sense. I'm looking forward to it. Let me think about it. I'm not sure yet. I'm trying to figure it out. I didn't catch that. What are you up to? I'm taking it easy. When you learn chunks, you don't have to build every sentence from zero. You can pull a phrase from memory and use it. That's how real fluency feels. It's not perfect grammar construction every time from scratch, from zero. It's having useful language ready when you need it. So instead of studying one word at a time, like late, learn I'm running late. Instead of studying the word understand, learn that makes sense. Instead of studying one word like busy, learn I've got a lot going on. That is real English. So let me tell you a quick personal story. When I was learning Portuguese, I remember feeling frustrated because I could understand my teachers pretty well. They spoke clearly, they used organized sentences, they slowed down for me, and I thought, okay, I'm getting good at this. Then I went outside into real life, and suddenly I felt like I knew nothing. People were speaking fast. They were using slang. They were cutting words. They were laughing. They were talking over each other. And I remember thinking, wait, did I study the wrong language? But I didn't study the wrong language. I'd studied the classroom version. And now I needed the real life version. So I started listening more. I paid attention to repeated phrases. I copied what people actually said. I stopped trying to translate every single word. And slowly things started to click. Not all at once, but little by little. And that is what I want for you. So don't be discouraged if real English feels fast. It's not a sign that you're failing. It's a sign that you're ready for the next level. Now let's practice. Repeat after me. I don't need to translate every word. I can connect English directly to meaning. I'm learning real life English. I'm getting used to fast English. I can pick up natural phrases by listening every day. I'm going to start slow and grow. I can make English part of my daily life. I don't just study English, I do life through English. I can write, speak, listen, and think in English every day. My fluency is growing one day at a time. Beautiful. Now let's make this practical. Here's your challenge for the next 7 days. Every day, do one small thing through English. Write 3 sentences in English about your day. Listen to one song in English and read the lyrics. Watch one short YouTube video or Netflix scene in English. Record a 1-minute voice note in English. Write a letter, comment, email, or message in English about something you care about. Repeat 5 natural phrases out loud. Have one real conversation, even if it's short. So do one of these things each day. Those were 7 activities. You can do one each day for the next 7 days. And remember, you're not trying to be perfect. You're training your brain to connect English with your real life. That's how you stop translating. So let's review what we learned today. You can expect native speakers to sound like real life English, not like your teacher or your textbook. In real life, people don't always say, "What are you doing?" They say, "What are you doing?" So if you want to understand real English, you need real English input. To think in English, you must immerse yourself in English, but start slow and grow. Use journaling, music, Netflix, YouTube, podcasts, voice notes, real conversations, and travel when possible. Don't just study English. Make English a part of your daily life. Write through English. Speak through English. Listen through English. Think through English. Create through English. And most importantly, learn chunks, not just individual words. This is how your English becomes faster, smoother, and more natural. I want to leave you with this thought. You do not become fluent by translating perfectly. You become fluent by living imperfectly through English every day. So take the pressure off. You don't have to understand every word. You don't have to speak perfectly. You don't have to sound like a native speaker tomorrow, but you can take one small step today. One sentence, one song, one voice note, one conversation, one private lesson, one real life moment in English. This is how fluency grows. And if you want daily support with this, join as a YouTube channel member or a private Fluency podcast member. The link is in the description. You'll get daily private English lessons about 15 minutes a day to help you immerse yourself in English, understand natural American English, and start thinking in English. There's no commitment. Try it for a month and see for yourself. I'm Gabby from Go Natural English. And thank you so much for watching and learning with me today. So in the next episode, we'll keep building your real life fluency. So make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. And remember, don't just study English, live through English.